Hey, everybody. So we got Ryan Barado here. He is one of my agents. Ryan's had multiple weeks, over 10,000 AP. His biggest week's 12,000 AP. He's super consistent, sells at least over 5,000 of annual premium every week. So I wanted to bring Ryan on because he's it's in his first year in the business. Very motivated guy, super ambitious, entrepreneurial, and he's trying to make his way. And he's had some other businesses that he's tried to start and that he's working on growing while he's doing this. I think it's just, a cool person to learn from, because I think the audience that I have can resonate with that so much, right? Like even me, like, hey, I'm doing my thing, but I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. And I'm trying to always find like how I can be better, how I can make more, and how I can accomplish my goals. And I know I got a bunch of hustlers who watch this channel, and we got one of them right here. His name's Ryan. So Ryan,
appreciate it.
Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and let us know kind of what got you into selling, like why'd you pick Final Expense life insurance?
Thank you for that, Justin. Man, literally everything you were saying, Justin. So I was doing a nutrition coaching business that I'm still doing. And basically, when I had started the business, I was doing it for maybe a year and a half. And I'm still doing it. I kind of downsized it because I wanted to have like a set track in front of me, a set game plan where I can just basically get on the phone and start calling people and kind of control how much money was coming in, because I still hadn't learned the business yet that I'm doing with the nutrition coaching. And it was the first time I ever started my own business. And when everything's just out there, you don't have a like a guided game plan and everything's just set for you. Like, I don't know what people sometimes say, the tracks are set for you or something like that.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of up in the air. Well, you're going to have a lot of months where you're not making money. You just don't have that confidence of like, hey, there's a lot of money coming in and I know how I'm going to make the money.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of swallow my ego and basically decide a quick way that I could just start making money. And it's like, we know the money's going to come in. So
Yeah.
I been into sales. I was a personal trainer, which you got to learn how to talk to people, make them kind of like you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Especially you, right? No, I'm just
kidding. Man. No. So both of us, man, both of us.
Yeah.
So, but then I was selling loans, and when I got out of college was kind of when I decided like, hey, let's start a business. I've always been good at communicating, good into sales, and I was like, okay, well, if you're really good at this stuff, why not just find a job where you can get on the phone and talk to people? And that's why I got into insurance, and it paid off. It's paying off for sure. And I thought it'd be easier, right? But then I'll let you ask the next question, but I'm going to probably come in on something later that I was about to say.
You're cool. Yeah, if you guys stick around for the video, he'll give away his secrets. Well, so what it sounds like to me, I mean, I've been there, right? I mean, you have a business you're starting and that you're still doing, and you have good products, you have some knowledge, you're an expert in a space, but you didn't have the traffic, right? That's what it sounds like. Like you knew what you were doing, but you didn't have the traffic. And if you had a YouTube channel with 50,000 subscribers who are looking for nutrition information, maybe it'd be different. And I see this so much. It's like people get good at sales or they have a good product, but they don't have the traffic. At our agency, we provide agents all the leads, but it's at no cost. The caveat, I guess, is 55% commission plus bonuses. So people, instead of having to pay for leads at 100% commission, they get all the leads included at 55% commission plus bonuses to sell over the phone from home. Essentially, it's like people can get a lead flow real quick to sell and flip. And it's tough if you're getting into insurance, because a lot of you guys probably know you buy a batch of leads. And then if you don't have a lot of money and you don't make sales on your first batch of leads, like you're kind of screwed. And then this business, I found this will lead into the next thing, I guess, Ryan, is you said, you thought it was going to be easy. And then I found for me, it was easy to get my insurance license compared to starting other businesses, right? Because like other stuff, like, like if you started like brick and mortar nutrition center, you'd have to get, health department approvals and like all this crazy stuff. But insurance, you just like, you get a license and then boom, that's it. It's pretty quick. So do you think the ease of obtaining the license, even if the exam was challenging, it's hard, but it's not like, ridiculous. So like, even if the exam was challenging, do you feel like the ease of getting into the business is kind of what like made it seem like, wow, this is like a lot harder than I thought it would be?
That last part though, what did you mean by that? You're saying
so like it's the barrier to entry is low. Right. Yeah. So I think a lot of people coming into the business, they're like, oh, I'm going to sell insurance. Look at this guy online. He said he makes this much money, not understanding like the years of training and how many leads it took and all that other stuff.
Exactly. I got you.
Yeah, it's like $200. You study for a couple weeks for a test. Now I have an insurance business, and then you're like, what do I do? And you try to sell people, and it's really hard. So I just want to see like your experience. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like what was the biggest challenge, and did it kind of like punch you in the face a little bit?
Yeah. So first of all, it did punch me in the face, and so I can imagine other people would punch them in the face. But it's like the greatest learning experience you ever have. Like it's ridiculous. So it's all how you see it. But getting the license was the thing that brought me in. I was like, okay, you just get a license and then boom, you can start selling. So it's super easy to get into. So that's awesome. That's actually very good, right? Like people don't realize you have people that they'll do an Uber or whatever the case is, and they don't know that they can literally take an exam and then start making money by working for any life insurance company. Now, even better is you work for a life insurance company that gives you the leads. And I had to learn that the hard way. So that's why I'm here. But going to answer your question, like, okay, it's super easy to access, but then it's like you get hit in the face because you realize like you actually have to have a skill set.
Yep.
But then once you get the skill set, it's like now you're just like you're good. You have something that you just need leads and you can always make money. But the thing is you got to get through that point where you actually get the skill set.
Yeah.
It was the big, even for me, like I'm like, oh, I think I know everything. But obviously I don't know anything. None of us know anything. But like I thought I knew everything going in.
I did too.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, somebody like me, this is the hardest thing ever. Even I want to give up. And I guess people that might be younger than me obviously want to give up. People more experienced than me, even they want to give up or whatever. Then once you actually, like the fear goes away and like you actually start to see that you're better, you learn a huge lesson. And you learn a lesson that you can't learn working a job that's not sales. Basically, you learn how real things are. And like, it's like you actually have to get a skill set and then you realize like, how much the skill set actually will impact your life. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like people don't realize how everything is in your control, but it's just not that easy to get to the position to actually have the skill set.
It is. It's in your control and you do control your income, but it's so much easier. Like it sounds so good to say that you control your income. Like you have a freaking like dial knob for your income. Like let me just try, And that's not how it is. Like people starting out, I always recommend that, and there are people out there who are going to argue with this, other people who have, IMOs with high commission percentage and stuff. But my belief is that everybody should start out in some sort of a free lead system, because like if you're not an anomaly at this and really good right away, you're going to fail. Like you are not going to make it 100%, or unless you have like thousands of dollars on leads and you can lose that money and you don't care. Like you can't make it, because telesales is very unforgiving. Face-to-face is a lot more forgiving because you're right in front of someone, right? So like they can't just hang up on you. They can't like teleport you out of their house. Yes, if you get leads or direct mail leads and everybody starting out, I recommend face-to-face or paid lead program, because you're going to see some of these guys on YouTube who have channels who are like, oh, I sold this much my first month. Dude, they're like the Michael Jordan of final expense. Like, that ain't 99% of people. So they're going to be deceived watching that thinking, hey, I can do it. They're going to buy a batch of leads and get smoked and then quit. But here we provide all the leads. So it's like, if you don't make a sale, it's not like you lost money. You're just at zero still.
Yeah.
And this isn't as much to sell the program. Like obviously if someone wants to work with me, email me at the description of the video. This isn't as much to sell the program as tell you guys that you have to get a lot of reps in to succeed. So like Ryan, how much of an impact has being able to call hundreds of people a day? Could you have gotten as good as you are now without the exposure that you've had?
Not a chance. Like I worked with a different IMO for 2 months right before I came to you, Justin. I had to pay for the leads, so I didn't have the traffic coming in. And then basically I got way better. Now it took a while, even with it took some time, but it would have never happened if I didn't have the leads coming in. When I was in that other IMO, there were people that were really good and people that have sold cars for a while, made so much money, and that they decided to get into insurance because they're really good at sales, or they thought they were good at sales. And then the skill, it didn't translate over. Mm-hmm. Like they had a learning curve too, but they got good because they had the leads coming in. Even if somebody is really good at sales, you could be somebody that's really good, or you could be somebody that's never sold in your life. You need to have a lot of leads coming in, because nobody's going to get good without having a lot of leads coming in. Because
these people are weird. Like these aren't your normal clients. Like I know there's every sales guy out there says, oh, every client's the same. Look, if you sold final expense compared to other stuff, our clients are like, dude, you only find them at Walmart and the ATM on Social Security Day. Like that's it. Like they don't do nothing else. So they are different and unique, and they're like, some of them, they're like, dude, I would never have encountered this person ever at any sales position. So getting the reps in, getting used to them is important, and having that exposure, because you can't be good at something unless you do it a lot. And another thing too, I saw it a lot of IMOs when I started, is like people sound 30, 40,000 AP a month and then quitting, you know, like after like a few months. So it's like, okay, like what's going on here? Like what's really the deal? And a lot of it comes back to lead flow and chargebacks and stuff like that. So like in terms of getting the exposure to improve at stuff, what is the number? What do you think, like when you first got into it, the exposure helped with getting better at?
Well, the exposure helped with just kind of, you get the reps in, so you see like how people react on the call and how you should carry yourself and how your tone should be, what's the best way to have the script, and what you should do at certain points of the call. You're not going to be able to think of all that stuff unless you do it for a little bit of time and you have enough of those experiences. So that's what it was.
What about the greeting, like the introduction? Like, because people get like beat up in the introduction when they start. So
yeah,
like what was your journey? Like, how did you feel going through that? And then like, how do you feel now? And like, what did you experience as getting better at handling all those people who are like, I have insurance, I'm not interested, all that stuff?
Now I don't care as much. I'm just kind of chilling with it. You know what I mean? Like, but there are times where you get on the call and obviously you're not in a good state, whatever. But for the most part, it's just a lot more relaxed from my end, which you only get that with the reps. And then so the people get on the call with me and they're kind of like, oh, who's this guy saying hello to me? And then it kind of just, you know, they're kind of just, okay, well, you're not being super salesy. So they're going to stay in the call, and the greeting is everything. So then it's like, if you can master the greeting, which is all about tone and just like trying to have a conversation for the first second and then let them know the reason for the call right after. Because if you're a good energy and then you also let them know the reason for the call right after that, the greeting is pretty much, you might have a shot at it, obviously, because, you know, people don't want to just randomly be called.
Yeah.
And then if you have enough calls throughout the day, you're going to get a lot of real conversations that'll bring you the sales. But if you can't get the greeting down, you can't get those sales, and you can't get the greeting without getting the amount of traffic or reps to get good at the greeting, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you kind of get numb to it, guys. Like you get used to it. Like he said, you just don't care anymore. And I was listening to another agent's calls and Ryan's calls the other day, and they sound so much more calm and confident and happy to be on the phone with the client in the greeting. Now, as opposed to before, when it's kind of shaky, not exactly knowing what to say. And just that confidence alone minimizes those objections that these guys are getting, because like, I don't know if you've noticed that, but you get less people giving you pushback now than did before.
Yeah. 100%. You get better at it, so you're just kind of more confident. And then at the same time, like some days we're not going to be we're just not going to be confident. We're going to have some anxiety, whatever. But if you could just make those less of your, you know, you just kind of get better at it. And the more likely you're to show up confident, especially if you have the skill set, it just kind of, things just get really simple. Like everything you do, eventually you just get way smarter at doing it. It doesn't matter if you're an attorney, whatever your business you're running, if you're selling final expense. So you're just naturally going to get better, and that confidence is going to show. And then it's very easy to get convinced by somebody that's confident. So that's why they stay listening to you, and then they buy your product.
Yeah, no, it's true. And like tone, that what this shows too is like tone is everything, guys. Like the way that you sound, because we have people, like we're all using the same presentation. So some people get a lot of sales, some people don't. And over time, they'll mold it to their own, right? Like they'll kind of add some things or take away some things that work for them. So that's why it's hard too sometimes to come into a place and be like, okay, what's this guy who's been here 2 years cranking out sales? I want to say exactly what he says. If you do listen to someone's calls like that, I want everybody to understand he has a certain voice. He's going to say things that sound different than how you say. His pacing might be different, meaning his tempo. How fast is he speaking? How is he saying these things? Because if it was just what's being said, everybody would make the same amount of sales all the time. Think about it, guys. All these scripts that go around the internet from YouTube and stuff like that, from people giving out scripts like me. If you want to copy my script, email me. People are saying similar things, but it's how they say it. And there's an analogy I heard where MMA fighters, I heard this in an interview the other day. MMA fighters will get microfractures in their shins, and they'll calcify, and they'll be able to kick, their chins become numb, and it's just this like thick bone ridge, and they'll be able to kick through baseball bats, like break baseball bats in half, like 2 at a time. But when you imagine if you kicked a baseball bat right now with your shin, you'd be like screaming probably, unless you've done MMA and stuff for a long time. I don't know, but I know I would be like, wow, that hurts. But these guys don't even feel it, and they break the bats. So objections are the same way. Like we just, every time we get hit with one, our brain's like, okay, I got to get better at that. I got to get better at that. I got to get better at that. It's tough though, because that analogy is easy from a physical standpoint, because we all know our physical limitations. But when we have a communication limitation, it's challenging, because you're like, like, I have to get better at talking. It's just a weird concept for people, but I'm kind of rambling there now. So what else in terms of exposure has opened your eyes and changed your mindset a little bit from where you were before to now? Like anything else you're exposed to on calls that you gotten used to that you were kind of not comfortable with before?
Like, ah, man, it's like there's so much, man. You could say so much, but I think being so exposed and having so many conversations and leads coming in, you kind of just start to see how, some people are going to buy and then some people are not going to buy. And then you quickly find out who those people are. And you always want to push for it anyways to figure it out. But like you just kind of start to understand people. You got to think about the calls. You know what I mean? Like watch a replay, pay attention to how things are going, and then you start to realize.
Bird's eye view, right?
Yeah, like you realize it's people buy off of emotion. People can be very emotional, especially final expense. Like
right. That's all they are. They don't think logically.
Yeah.
If they'd already have this done.
Exactly. So you gotta be nice. You gotta relate to them. Like the emotions matter big time. If you're a robot on there, you might make some sales, but not as much. So I think the exposure definitely made me sensitive to like, how's this person feeling on the call? Can I actually get them to logically and emotionally realize like, hey, this product is actually for them? And I've just gotten way better at that.
What I found when I was on a call, if you can hear in someone's tone that they want it, that's a big trigger. Like you'll get to the point where what he's saying is you'll know if someone's a buyer. You can almost tell by the way someone says something, what their mindset about it is. The bury me in the backyard people, it depends how they say it too. You're going to start to hear this once you get experience. I can just tell by the way this person's talking that they're not interested. Ladies, any women watching this, you're going to get guys who will talk to you just because you're a woman. You'll be able to like flush that out at some point where you're like, yeah, this person's just like being a creep. That's another thing that comes from exposure. But this is the thing too, right? It's like you can get all the leads in the world. You can have all the training in the world. You can have amazing scripts. But if you don't actually make the calls, then it doesn't matter. So what does your day look like? And then what do you recommend someone to do for calls?
Okay, this is going to be pretty good, Justin. I'm going to give you a good one here.
Go ahead.
Well, for me, I have to go to the gym. I always have to go to the gym. So whatever somebody's thing that's going to get you in a good place, right? So take care of yourself before you take care of everybody else, right? So that applies to sales, that applies to everything. So if you're in a good mood before you get on the calls, boom, now you're going to be confident, you're going to be more willing to make the dials.
So routine for the day, but like how much effort does someone have to apply to get good at this? Because I think people come in and because like I said,
such a good answer.
Because the ease of entry, right? It's like, okay, I got my insurance license, which is easy shit because you study in school for, your entire life. So like I can read a book and regurgitate the information, spit it back out for a test. So, but they come to this and it's totally different. So like, like what should people expect?
The answer that I'm going to give right now, it's coming from me having been with a company that I had to pay for the leads for 2 months prior. So that's why I'm giving the answer I'm going to give right now. So once you have unlimited leads, right? So say that scenario, then this is how it should work. If you're in that scenario where you have unlimited leads, it's going to be hard in the beginning, no matter what. You have to literally go through a time that's not that fun. And then because you're willing to do that, you will then get better. Be one of the people that can get good, and a lot of people can get good at insurance. It's not as hard as you think at all. It's actually pretty easy. You just got to put the time in. It's going to seem very hard in the beginning, and it will be for the first 1, 2, maybe even 3 months. But after you go through that period in the beginning, and if it's actually hard, that's a good thing because that means you tried, then it's going to get easy. And because you actually went through that hard time and tried hard enough that you actually get a skill set, then it'll be easy after that. Because I remember being super stressed out, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you can still be like that. But now it's just kind of like that first 3-month period just made the rest easy. And you now understand things. You understand how to get on calls. And none of that could happen if you don't have traffic coming in. And you get huge learning lesson. And that's everything because things always are very hard in life. And people think, because it's hard, I'm going to give up and not do anything, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing gets done. So if you actually do get through that hard period, now you're going to learn the best lesson ever through a real experience, like not just you speaking words out of your mouth. And that's invaluable.
It is.
That's what happened to me, man. That's literally what happened to me. I was literally like, wow, you can do this. Now it's like, okay.
That's what happened to me too. And the thing is, you guys, you just have to do it. Like you can watch 12 hours. This is the thing. If someone watches 12 hours of YouTube videos on sales every day, but never goes out and does it for a year, and someone never watches or reads a single sales book or watches any videos and then just goes out and sells for a year, that person who does it is going to be a million times better than the person just watching video. So you got to watch stuff on YouTube, guys, and learn from your upline and your meetings, but you also have to go apply it like crazy effort for a couple months and a few months.
Yeah.
That's why when people start here, I'm like, you got to work 60 hours a week. Like, oh, so I can sign off at 6. I'm like, no, like you need to have 60 hours of work a week. So at least, so like some days you might be working to 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Some days you might work literally all day, and that's it. And, you know, for the first couple months, first few months, but once you get past that point, you get over that hurdle and you get good, then everything gets, but you can only get that knowledge from experience.
And it's invaluable because you're gonna see yourself differently. You're gonna believe in yourself differently, and like that, like I can't explain that. You got to experience it for yourself. But if you don't do nothing, you're never gonna have that. That's not gonna happen to you.
Yeah, and like this business gave me the confidence to be able to do anything. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm so much more confident in the other stuff, other business things I have. Like I'm like, I know I can go do this. Like I don't even think in my head like, okay, I can do this because I did this. I just think I'm just confident about it because I'm like, oh, I don't care. I don't care what they tell me. I'm gonna push through I don't care if I get rejected. You know, whatever. Like I've been, you know, after these people reject you every day for months, you just start to not care. And then it's like, it changed your mindset and you really do grow. And I think that's like a big thing too, that like doesn't like the money's important, but what I found makes me happy is the wins along the way too.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Someone starting out, what do you recommend that they do for a schedule? Like if you had to write a schedule for a new agent?
Go to bed early. Go to bed at 9:30 or 10. I would say, okay, perfect schedule. Go to bed at 9:30. Wake up at 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. Whatever's best for your sleeping, whatever's best for your body. If you could wake up at 5 a.m., now you're gonna have time before the day to actually like get your stuff right and not just jump into it. And because of that, your day is gonna be a lot easier. This is all given that you have a good amount of leads coming in, right? Like you want to have, because the more anxiety, the worse you do. You want to have everything easy for you. If you're calm, you're gonna do way better than if there's pressure. So you take that pressure off by starting the day early. You take that pressure off by having a good amount of leads coming in. You take that pressure off by like, you know, just mentally prepping for the day beforehand. And then the best preparation is the first dial. Once you get that first dial through, now you're going to see how the rest of your calls are just way easier. And because you started earlier in the day, it's going to be a way easier day because you're going to have done more calls and there's more opportunities and more chances that that sale that you're going to get is going to come in. And then just go to bed early. I'm actually in Justin. I don't know if you know, so I try not to dial late at night anymore because I got to go to bed early to wake up. It's the most important thing. Like have dinner, chilling, go out with the friends. But if you don't set a routine, if you don't have a routine, dude, everything's up in the air. You gotta have a routine.
Chilling. That's just me. I don't even care about chilling. Like with people, like I'm in Puerto. I have a couple friends here, one or two people, and like that's it. I'm focused and committed on this. Everybody's got different goals. You know, go enjoy yourself. Another thing too is during the day, guys. If you're putting your effort into like, don't try to minimize distractions because once you get going, if something breaks that up, it takes a little time to get back in the groove. If I was here and then I'm on this interview and if I just opened my phone right now and went on Instagram, it's going to take me like 30 seconds to get back into interview mode. That's why what I'll do is I'll batch my day. So Ryan, I know you're working on your nutrition stuff. So this is something that I want to talk to you about in a one-on-one, but I'll just talk to you right here with everybody. If there's stuff that you want to do for your nutrition business, pick a day to do everything. Pick a day or two just to do that. Instead of breaking it up, like some of this, some of that. Like today, I'm filming every video I need to film this week. So I'm filming this interview for another YouTube channel I have to teach people to pass their insurance exam. I'm filming, I'm just going through vocab words. It's super boring, but I got to do it. I got to go through and film a video for sales funnels because I'm trying to sell products. And instead of selling a big product, I'm going to break it down. So I have to film those videos. I have to film tutorials for my assistants to help me assemble the courses so that I don't have to do it. I can just film a video walkthrough and show them how to do it. So everything film related, I'm doing today. Also, I'm doing my coursework for a YouTube course I'm in today. We have our meeting today, another meeting Friday, but can't control the times. And then tomorrow is everything marketing and advertising, right? Job boards, Facebook ads, ClickFunnels, upsells, call to actions on my YouTube channel. When I'm like, click the link in the description to get a free something, building out the web pages for that. So tomorrow, everything marketing and advertising is tomorrow. So I'm in that zone. And then the next day, it's for my pre-license course. I do SLS stuff, my agency stuff every day that I have to do. Next day, it's insurance pre-license course stuff. So what do I got to do to make sure that these courses are done by December 31st so that we have life and health done to sell nationally, every state. So it's like, I found that time blocking is huge. And I forget what book I read it in, but it's just
Dan Martell.
Yeah.
I know the book.
Yeah. Oh, you read that book too?
Well, I've known Dan Martell. I have the book, but I never actually opened it. You know how it works, man. We buy a book and we don't even open it. That whole time blocking thing you're saying right now, I don't do it. And that's everything.
Dude, it's huge because you get in the zone. because then you're in that like nutrition zone, you know. And it's like you may think, hey, if like I take Saturdays to do my nutrition stuff, then like I'm taking away from my insurance sales. But there's no such thing as multitasking, just multi-failing. This guy Mark Tilbury talked about that. So he said, the guy's like 70-something years old, I think. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got like 4 million subs. He's super successful. He teaches people like side hustle stuff like that. He's like, if I could give 20 pieces of advice to someone in their 20s, and he's like, there's no such thing as multitasking, just multi-failing. And it's so true. Like, you can't do.
I think it's worse for dudes, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's true. But like, dude, I got to focus on one thing and do it right. And the other thing, guys, get it done. Like, do something to get it done, and then complete the cycle of action and just like wrap it up. Like, do exactly what it is. Create a list for yourself of stuff you have to do that day. Now, the thing is, if you're brand new in insurance, just pick every day I'm going to hit insurance. It's not like you got to do that until you get good, though.
100%. Has to be all insurance for the beginning. Like, I wouldn't even be thinking about doing anything outside of insurance if it was still the beginning. I don't have to think so much throughout the day because I kind of know how like I'm going to be on calls more so than not. Beforehand, I used to have to really mentally prep before the sales day. I had to really like tell myself like, yo, what did I learn yesterday? What do I got to do different on this call? Now it's kind of like, if you're not motivated, you're not going to make sales. But it's not like a skill set problem. It's always just like, hey, like let's get motivated because your skill set's already there.
How much of an impact does morning exercise have on you feeling?
Everything, dude, everything. I wouldn't be able to do this with you right now. I mean, I would, but I'd probably be like a loser on the call.
Give me like a 3-word answer. I hate those interviews. I ask people a question. They're like, what's your experience? It's been okay. It's like, dude,
bro,
but it's all right.
I'll be doing you a disservice, Justin.
Thanks for working out. I woke up late today. I couldn't go to the gym. I went surfing for 2 hours yesterday and lifted, so I'm smoked. So
that's what's up.
But cool, Ryan. Any closing statements?
Justin's awesome. That's a big one. Believe in yourself, guys. If you're trying to, believe in yourself, guys. If you want to get into insurance, have free leads coming in. Do not pay for your leads because then you're capped in how many come in. And then the biggest thing, just on a personal note, is like you can be doing anything. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't realize that they actually have to take action in life to learn things. Best experiences are going to be from the actions you took and you're like, oh, I actually did that. You know what I mean? Like if you're, let's say Stacy's out there, right? We got a Stacy. Stacy's never sold 11,000 AP in a week. And then there's a version of Stacy that has done it because she went for 3 months and learned how to like sell life insurance. That version of Stacy that knows she sold 11 AP, if she's never been in sales, blah, blah, or maybe she has, is going to have such more of a track record for herself in the next 10, 15 years because of what she now knows she can do. And that's nothing nobody can explain to you. You got to experience it for yourself.
Yeah, thank you, man. And the experience that we are able to provide people here is due to a program we have called the SLS Way. And if you're interested in learning about the program, email me at the email in the description of the video, jve@thejve.com. Thank you so much, Ryan. Guys,
you're welcome, man.
You won't want to, we're going to end this one here, but this next interview coming up is huge. This is Jennifer Walker. She's with our agency as well. She wrote 24,000 AP in 1 week and was the top agent here for a long time. So you don't want to miss this next interview coming up. If you're looking to be successful in the business, starts with Ryan here. Jennifer is the next step. You want to check that one out. Thank you, everybody.